Jeffrey Epstein, sick of the story or not, the Epstein story, his, abuse of young girls to his, cadre of the powerful people in the government that he courted on his private island, to the tranches of documents that have been released and dripping out and all haven't come out. The point is, the story is not going away anytime soon, although it is getting much more attention now in the mainstream, or I should say more liberal press than it once did. It was really once the obsession of the more conservative press. Now it's, definitely taken a turn with both New York Times has devoted teams and time, and so has CNN. Last week, during live coverage of a congressional hearing, Attorney General Pam Bondi was on the stand with Epstein's victims were standing right behind her. Here she is lambasting Democrats in Congress for focusing on a story that she basically says no one cares about anymore.
You sit here and you attack the president, and I am not going to have it. I'm not going to put up with it. They are talking about Epstein today. This has been around since the Obama administration. Donald Trump, the Dow right now is over. The Dow is over $50,000. I don't know why you're laughing. You're a great stock trader, as I hear, Raskin. The Dow is over 50,000 right now. The S&P at almost 7,000. And the NASDAQ smashing records. Americans' 401ks and retirement savings are booming. That's what we should be talking about. We should be talking about making Americans safe. We should be talking about, what does a Dow have to do with anything? That's what they just asked. Are you kidding?
I mean, what world is she talking about?
It's like she took a page from Judge Kavanaugh's hearing. It's like if she just comes out going, "What?" Everyone will stop actually asking any questions and focus on her behavior, and it's working.
I know, and Lylah, but those victims were standing right before her, behind her. She never addressed them. She
Mhm.
never. She was so wound up. It was like she was addressing an audience of one, which was Donald Trump.
Mhm.
I mean, uh,
Yeah.
again, this is not it's not like the Nancy Guthrie story, but it has so many legs and it's so deep, and so much more is coming out. And I think the New York Times has got notes, has put a team of reporters on it, and there's more to come. We haven't seen the end of this, and I for one am not sick of it.
I actually don't think the mainstream media is doing enough on it.
Hmm.
Oh,
I don't,
interesting.
I think they're being really superficial. I think they're looking for outrage and focused on outrage. I mean, just a couple days ago, I guess like over the weekend, New York Times acknowledged that readers want more, and they published this weirdly self-serving take on how they're digging into the files,
I saw that.
talking to four of the reporters or two reporters and two editors who are doing it. They're focused on like, look at the good work we're doing. No, that's not the point. I mean, you have 24 journalists on it. Um, and I'm finding out more information about the Epstein files by going on Twitter or Threads. I think that that's actually part of the government's reasoning. There's a lot of damning stuff in there, and they've made it impossible to find. They've dumped all of it there, and but instead of pointing out, hey, look, you've made this impossible to find, we need to hold people accountable. The mainstream media is sifting through the hay looking for needles. I mean, Al Jazeera did a really good job talking about the logic of doing a dump like this, pulling out actual
Hmm.
examples and publishing them. I'm not seeing the mainstream media do that.
Hmm. No,
Yeah, it's interesting because I kind of dismissed, I mean, for a long time, it felt like this is the story was kind of driven by kind of right-wing news sites and social media and got into all these sorts of crazy conspiratorial theories. And now it seems to, for whatever reason, hitting home or attracting, even if it's superficial, more interest from the mainstream media, especially with that data dump. I did a story. You just started searching around. You start searching. Okay, who's in this? Came up with a case where aide to John or former aide to John Kerry was involved. He had a lobbying firm. Epstein had a buddy who was thrown in jail in Africa. It was kind of a alleged kleptocrat. Went to bat with it. I think reading through those files, that what's really kind of disturbing or shocking, because you come across a lot of other things, it's just people are kissing up to this guy. He's a convicted sex offender. And not only that, he wasn't trying to hide it, right? I mean, he didn't
Yep.
change his lifestyle, right? So here he is, and you have academics, you have business people, you have it's just really gross. This Bob
Royalty.
Crow, who's a lobbyist, joking about I'm down in Florida with my kids. I'm thinking like, well, don't invite this guy over because he's bad news. Like there's nothing like he's just like this wonderful guy, and there's just like it's almost immoral. I mean, it's really, and I guess I shouldn't be shocked, but it felt like they just what if you they were just looking for him for money or
Money.
other people for
And
other
Larry
things.
Summers and his wife. I mean, sucking up to him so he'll, publish her poetry or whatever it was.
Yeah, like really, you need this? You can't find another source of funding. Well, then that's a problem, right? Maybe your poetry isn't good enough. I mean, come on.
But it's not only
Um,
funding, it's proximity to power. It's
Yeah.
it's his
yeah.
network, right? It's not that they just want access to Epstein's money for investments. They want access to the other people who Epstein has access to. And it's all about getting what you want for yourselves. And if the people who get hurt aren't people who society or your circle think of as important, then it doesn't matter, right? That's how the whole level of stuff operates.
So Dan,
Speaking,
what's your take? How's this going to end? I mean, is somebody going to draw, connect the dots, and we're going to have a clear map of this
hmm,
eventually about everybody that was involved?
Well, no, because there are still several million documents that have not been made public. The ones that have been made public are heavily redacted. The big questions that people have are involve Trump and to a lesser extent Bill Clinton.
Mhm.
And I don't know that we're ever going to get any clarity on either one of those. Speaking of Lylah's point, Ezra Klein had a fantastic hour and a half long interview the other day with an independent journalist talking about the concentric circles that go from the very small number of people who presumably were involved in the worst of Epstein's crimes. And then you move out and you get this group of academics, business people, all kinds of people from all walks of life who are just sucking up to Jeffrey Epstein because they want something from him. And as Lylah says, a lot of it is just connections to other people. These files are very difficult for journalists to wrap their arms around. I was really struck by something that the great Julie K. Brown said the other day. She's the reporter for the Miami Herald who
Who broke the story, we
exposed
should
an
say. Yeah.
awful lot of what Epstein did. She said she can't go through all of this, and she has been really grateful for readers who have done deep dives into different parts of the files and provided her with information that she can follow up on. And she ended this interview I heard her give by saying, "Please, if you've got more, send them to me,"
Mhm.
because it's just so difficult to deal with this stuff.
Good point. Well, I can't get enough of it either. I'd like to see it resolved, but I agree with you, Dan. It probably won't be.
The audio preview.